Hello, this is Big Boss Rescue Chief of Humane Emergency Animal Rescue. Welcome to our series, Animal Rescue Postmortem, where we analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of animal rescues throughout the world. Volume 7, video number 24, the last one in the series of Volume 7. Let's take a look at what we've got here. We have a deer that is not impaled by the fence, but it has got itself caught between two spikes. I don't know what to call that on. I don't know if that part of the fence has a specific name, but it has lodged itself in between two spikes on this fence. Let's get the video rolling here, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. Yeah, I mean, like, I used to smoke, so I'm just going to agree with that guy. I don't know how you can do any of that without a cigarette in your mouth. So it's being caught. You can see where it's caught by its pelvis. It can't extricate itself there. And the problem with the way they're doing that is they're not lifting it up and over. And the actual problem is right here. You can see what the potential is. So, all right. And then where'd it go? Alright, so let's let it go to a certain point here. We've got a deer. It's trapped in this fence, but it's not impaled. At least at this point, it's not impaled. And yeah, you better watch out for those hooves. They can give you a nice good kick, and it's going to be worse than a bar fight. Okay, so I'm going to pause it right here. And what the issue is with this is we've got a wild animal that's caught in the fence here. It's being held. If it wasn't for its pelvis, it would be able to slide right out of this. But now it doesn't have enough momentum to kick itself out. And then you've got these spikes here. So as we'll see, the issue is just lifting this up. You've got to lift it up and push it in this direction. And I mean, like, you know, the two fence spikes are here, and you've got to lift it up and forward or towards its head this way simultaneously so that it doesn't lift back up and then come back down and impale itself on those spikes. Like what we almost see here. When they do get it up in the air, right there, it starts to come down on that spike. And it's going to fight like hell to get itself out of there, especially when it's got people touching it. Do you see the impalement issue right there? It may have even ripped it. I mean, that right rear leg kind of looked a little bit limp. So, okay. I think that's a really good angle there. If we do this rescue here, we are gonna have to prevent it from impaling itself. Now there are these round mushroom-like type devices that go over top of rebar on construction sites. As they're specifically there to prevent somebody from falling to getting impaled on them, okay? They got this big mushroom-looking head on them. And so my choice would be to, based on what we see in the video, leave the animal completely conscious, drive those mushroom things, whatever they're called, down over top of these spikes on this fence here, so that the animal couldn't be impaled, and then have enough people to simultaneously lift the rear legs and the torso here up and over simultaneously. So it's going to be a coordinated group effort. This is where I would want either my own personnel or fire personnel on the scene who are used to moving people. Okay, they're used to moving a patient. And that's what's going to be really a well-organized machine to show up and help you do that lift. And then you've got something there to prevent the animal from impaling itself. The other option would be chemical immobilization and wait for it, and it's going to start fighting when it starts feeling the loss of consciousness, which is going to take a few minutes for that to spread throughout the body and take the effect that it needs to. And then lift it up and over once it's fully unconscious. But that excited state that an animal can get into when it starts to go under the effect of a tranquilizing drug, can end up looking like when this does when it starts to fight its way out. So you're going to have to keep it under control the entire time there and try to prevent it from injuring itself. And then you lift it up, it gets lifted up, and then a reversal agent until it's fully conscious and safe to be on its own. And then there you go, rescue over. Now let's look at this again from a different perspective. And let's say that the animal is impaled on this. That changes things drastically. And that's where we are going to use chemical immobilization without question to immobilize the animal. And then we're going to try and obtain permission from the owner of this property here to cut that fence so we can remove the animal and the impaled object as one unit, just like you typically do with humans. Then it can be surgically removed in a controlled setting. And that's that. That's how it changes that. And then the animal, once it's impaled, if it's impaled and it needs that chemical immobilization, you're going to have really good control over it and try to keep its movements to a minimum as the drug's taking effect. And then, it's either the fire department using cutters or, you're using a reciprocating saw or possibly even... I don't know what that fence is made out of. It may be bolt cutters, but I would prefer like a reciprocating saw if I could access that area to cut away. Because if you're looking at it here and it impaled itself, you might have to go all the way back to over here and make a cut here, a cut here, a cut here, and a cut here to move the whole piece, depending on where the body's positioned and several other factors that might influence where that cut gets made. And there's no way for us to say that sitting here in a classroom type setting without being on the scene of an actual event. So there's several things that'll influence that. I think this is a pretty good example of a horse of any animal for that matter, but being caught on the fence like this, and how you would handle it this way where it's caught in between those spikes, or how we would handle it if it was impaled by whatever's on the fence there. And happily ever after, right? I'm gonna give them a 4 stars on this, because they could have recruited other people there and made this a lot less dangerous, particularly as small as this deer is. But look, you can't expect a civilian population that doesn't have the training to do it any particular way for that matter. All right, but I'm gonna give them a 4 stars because nobody got killed. The deer, it looks like this deer lives, but it's hard to say. You can see, look how hard it is for them to try and maintain control of those back legs there. And so it's up and forward on that movement. Okay, happily ever after, right? That's it for Volume 7, video number 24. We'll see you over in Volume 8.